Alright, so I finally hit a year in the Marine Corps. Well, I've actually been in for a year and a half now, but this video is going to be what my journey has been so far, 1 year in the Marine Corps, and there's definitely a lot that you guys can take away from this video, especially if you're looking to join, or if you're in the Marine Corps and you want to see what life looks like either in the fleet or just in your job in general. But make sure you guys like this video. This is gonna be a banger. But the reason I got into the Marine Corps in the first place was just wanting to change who I was as a man, and I wanted to be stronger. I've always yearned for a challenge, and I loved living a tougher lifestyle, and the lifestyle I was living before the Marine Corps was the polar opposite. It was extremely comfortable. I was getting chubby. I was starting to do the opposite of what, in my opinion, what men are supposed to do. And I was like, what is a challenge that even I don't think I can accomplish, right? And the Marine Corps has always been in the back of my head. I've always had extreme respect for Marines because not only are you joining the military, you're joining subjectively the hardest branch. Like the Marine Corps, I'm not even biased on this. You can ask other branches, they'll say the same thing. The Marine Corps is just a different beast. It's a whole nother level of discipline. What's that? Let me turn my light on. Oh, hell no. I can't even hear, bro. Of discipline, challenge, just so much different things. But I just wanted to change who I was. And I wanted to do a challenge that, like I said, even I didn't think I was capable of. But it all started in boot camp. Boot camp was low-key underwhelming. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I was not that impressed with boot camp. It pretty much was just a waiting game for me. The job I chose, by the way, was 0311. Obviously, I'm mentioning challenge. I'm mentioning grit, wanting to challenge yourself. 0311, being in the infantry. The Marine Corps infantry, that's the hardest thing you can do. But I went to boot camp, and I was expecting some crazy stuff because the videos, the highlights, all of that, it makes it seem like it's this hard challenge. But to be honest, and this is like me just being honest with you guys, I was just standing around all day and drilling, just marching to and from chow. That's pretty much what it was. The hardest part for me was pool week, and that's just because I didn't know how to swim at the time. But other than that, just do exactly what the drill instructors say, and you're literally gonna be just fine. Boot camp on YouTube, they'll put all the highlights and all the crazy stuff, but you're pretty much just homesick half the time, or just slightly sleep deprived, because you do get those 8 hours, but things happen throughout the night. But basic boot camp, 13 weeks, I was like pretty good distress when it came to my mental. Physically, I was excelling. Physically, I was just fine. I felt great. I was like, all right, I'm good. Physically, I knew I was going to do good in boot camp. But then after boot camp, I graduated. I went on my little leave that they give you, and then I went to my infantry schoolhouse. So in the Marine Corps, everybody's forced to go to some type of combat training before going to their schoolhouse. But since my training was a combat job, I just went straight to my schoolhouse, which was called ITB, Infantry Training Battalion, or SOI, School of Infantry. We call it different things, but MCT is what you go to if you're non-combat, and it's only 3 weeks long. But ITB was the next step from my schoolhouse, right? And this is when it actually became challenging. This is what I thought boot camp was going to be, because it was basically boot camp part 2. You get treated like shit. There were multiple nights in a row where I would get 30 minutes of sleep. It was really rough. ITB, if you're going to join a combat job, just be ready for ITB. Be ready for SOI. There's not much videos on YouTube about it. Don't know why, because there should be. ITB was definitely more of a challenge than I thought it was going to be. Especially the sleep part. I was so sleep deprived. You will not get sleep. Like the company I was in, I'm not even going to talk about it that much, but the sleep I was in, the sleep deprivation was crazy. I remember they literally one night, it was 4 a.m. We ended our day at 4 a.m. They said, all right, go to sleep. And we woke up at 4:30 in the morning. And then the next day, it was 3 a.m. We ended our day. They was like, all right, wake up at 4. But then they woke up at 3:45. I was like, yo, it was horrible. ITB was not the funnest thing. But you basically go through that. You go through the grind of ITB. You pretty much hone in your skills of being a basic infantryman. But when you hit the fleet in the Marine Corps, that's when your career truly starts. That's when you actually start doing the things that you're supposed to do. Once I hit the fleet, that's when I started to really learned what it meant to be an infantryman. I got extremely lucky. I hit the fleet and I basically got put into a unit and a platoon that was being built from the ground up. I'm not gonna say my unit or the platoon, nothing like that, but I got put into a platoon of 6 people, and 8 of us were boots. 6 of the guys that we were going into, those guys were the seniors. So it was like 8 boots to 6 seniors, and now our platoon has 40 boots and 5 seniors. It's good because we're all very malleable, we're all very coachable. There's a lot of opportunity. I'll go into that too. And there's just that brotherhood feeling, because if you get put into a platoon and you're the one boot and there's 40 seniors, there's not much to really, you can't really relate that much, because you're like, crap, I'm the new guy. All these freaking senior Marines are gonna cook me. But the ratio right now is 8-1. And that was really good because we were all really coachable. Our seniors were able to put their knowledge in more of like a mentor teacher way versus do that way. There's like a really good relationship between the seniors and boots. I'll be honest, if I'm like, I haven't deployed yet, I'm not gonna say it, but I deploy pretty soon. So definitely excited for that. But there's a really good separation and respect for our seniors. So that was really good. And the next thing about me hitting the fleet was I was able to become a team leader really early on and pretty much start working towards the billet above me almost immediately. I've been a team leader for about 10-11 months now, and being a Lance Corporal team leader, I was also able to get meritorious Lance Corporal, because to be a billeted actual team leader, I'm pretty sure you need to be a Lance Corporal at least. So they just meritoriously promoted me 10 months ahead of schedule. So it was awesome. I beat the box there. It was the best entrance I could get to the fleet. If I could give any advice for anybody coming into the fleet, especially as an 0311, be as eager to learn, be as fit as you can, and participate as much as you can. Become an asset as early as possible. I was doing we came in waves, all the boots, we all came in waves. I was doing their life insurance. I was corporal, I know how to set up their SGLIs. Yo, I'll do it. Any new boots that come in, I'll take care of them. And my corporal was like, all right, I'm gonna trust you with that. Boom. Anytime boots came, I'd take it mad serious. I'd do everybody's life insurance. It was the smallest little tasks that I was like, I'll do it. And I was just basically, my game was gaining the trust of my senior, or of my squad leader, right? And then eventually we needed a team leader, and he was like, you're just a stand-in for now. In my head, I'm like, all right, I'm getting tested. Started cooking there, and then a corporal came in, he got injured, and then I got the actual team leader billet. Now, am I keeping that billet? We don't know, because you fight for your billets in the Marine Corps. You fight every day for that billet. Maybe I might not be a team leader next month, who knows? But so far, I'm 10-11 months deep. But I was very lucky to hit the fleet to where the platoon was brand new, and we were all able to start from the same spot with a handful of leaders that could teach us their knowledge. Pretty much everything I learned in ITB was incorrect. Pretty much everything I learned in ITB was not applied. Like I said, you're gonna hit the fleet, they're gonna teach you your job in the fleet. One thing that I also was able to do in the Marine Corps was genuinely lock in and go forth towards my goals. In the Marine Corps, it gets depressing, right? It definitely gets depressing, but there's nothing but you and your goals. There's nothing else. All I can do is work out here, go to my job, work on my projects, which is these YouTube videos, and that's about it. You know what I mean? Save your money, go to the chow hall, everything's around you. The gym is 30 feet down. My chow hall is 0.3 miles that way. Everything you need is in one box. So if you're in that Goku scene where you're in an incubator, you just need to use the tools. There's a lot of Marines out here that they're still lazy. They still don't want to use the things around them. But I'm treating my next 4 to 5 years as an incubator period. Hey, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to eat at the chow hall. I'm going to work out. I'm going to come home. I'm going to focus on my nutrition, focus on these personal projects, and just repeat. With my leave here and there, of course, I have my little video games. Where just got this, got my PS5, got my little setup going on. But for the most part, I'm grinding. But one thing that you're gonna do in the Marine Corps, that if you're looking to separate yourself, and I've started picking this up recently, right? I'm known as one of the smart Marines, right? All I'm doing, I'm about to tell you guys the craziest sauce ever, right? All I'm doing is I'm doing just a little more than the man next to me. and it's making the biggest change. I open my notebook 20 minutes a day, no negotiation. 20 minutes a day, that's it. 24 hours in a day, I open this notebook, I swipe down on my phone, I put a 20-minute timer, and I just study. I turn off all my devices and I study. 20 minutes, that's it. And it has made me miles smarter and miles more competent than the man next to me, right? I do have days that I actually lock in and sit down for an hour, but there's my boys, my own friends that are not studying for weeks at a time, and then they get cooked by our corporals and they look stupid and all that. All you have to do is care, just do a little bit more than the man next to you, and you're gonna freaking kill the competition. Caring about your job, caring about the projects that you're doing in your job, caring about your deployment, your boys next to you, just being a good dude, that's also gotten me very far. I make sure I actually care for my fire teams first before anything, and then my squad, and then my platoon. Just caring about them, actually checking in on them. The Marine Corps can get very depressing. Like I said, there's not much fun out here, not much, you're away from your family, but checking on your boys, genuinely being like, yo bro, how's everything? Is there anything I could do for you? Not expecting nothing in return. And that's gonna make them respect you a lot, you know what I mean? But just care about your boys, care about what your boys are doing, checking in on them, hanging out with them, messing around with them, you know what I mean? Be a good guy. That's all it is at the end of the day. These are your brothers. You're probably gonna die for them one day. You're probably gonna take a bullet for them one day. Make sure they want to take the same thing for you, you know what I mean? But some goals I have for the next half of the Marine Corps, at least until 2026. Obviously I'm deploying this year, so a lot of that is gonna be on ship, but my goals are to focus a little more on personal projects again. I want to record my YouTube videos again. As you guys can see, I'm hopping back onto it. I need to start recording again because this is my biggest project that I want to focus on. I want to actually have an audience and a successful business on YouTube because this is a great avenue to go to start a business, to get clients, things like that. So I need to make sure I focus on my personal projects again because I've been straight Marine Corps for the last year, and I will be a civilian again one day. I will get out of here one day. So my goal is to just focus on my personal projects just a little more than I have been. My next goal is finding a separation between my military life and my normal life. I am not gonna lie, I do not have a separation at all. I went on leave recently and I was thinking about my job the whole time. I need to make sure to clock out, make sure I still study, but clock out of work and forget about it a little bit, you know what I mean? Sometimes I get a little obsessive. That's a personality trait that I have that's good and bad, but lately I've been in a depressive state because I'm so focused on the Marine Corps that I forget that I have people that care about me back home, that I forget that I have hobbies that I want to get into, projects that I want to go into. So my goal this year is to also find a fine separation between my military life and my normal life. And then my last goal is a deployment goal. I just want to do amazing, whether that's doing field ops at the highest level I can, all the way to taking a bullet for one of my boys. And I want to be an extremely vital part to my platoon. I don't want to just be a team leader. I want to take over a squad leader spot for one range and crush it. I want to pass a test at 100% one day. I want to actually kill something when I really do great and be an extremely vital piece to my platoon. But that's a deployment goal. I have everything set up that I need. I have all my notebooks ready, all the note-taking gear, all the docs, everything prepared. But going hard every day, back on the YouTube grind, boys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's been my journey so far in the Marine Corps. We got 4 more years left. Gotta make them worth it because after this Marine Corps stuff, you guys know what I'm into. If you watch my videos, I'm into that millionaire lifestyle. I want to be a successful entrepreneur after the Marine Corps, so we gotta get to it now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.